Right, hey guys, it's Weston here. So today I'm going to be reviewing this £25 smartwatch and seeing if it's any good. So let's find out. And the first really good thing about this cheap smartwatch is the design. It's really clean, it's really minimal, and it looks sort of like a sport watch, and it kind of actually reminds me of Samsung smartwatches of early. Now, it's a really nice looking smartwatch though. I mean, it's got a circular design and it's got a grey body with a contrasting black band. And on the band, for your adjustment, we've got a little chrome edition, and I just think it really ties nicely together, and it is a nice looking smartwatch for the price. Also, we've got some buttons on the body as well, so we've got your main power button and also a back button, and then on the left hand side we've got your microphone because this can be used for voice memos. And then on the inside of the smartwatch we've got a heart rate monitor and also access to charge your smartwatch, which I'll talk about later on in the video. Then we get on to the UI, which is another sort of decent point, and it's got a few issues as well. And the UI is really nice, it's easy to navigate, it's really simple and straightforward, and it's just easy to use. The downside to the UI, it's really quite sluggish and quite slow. Now obviously this is not a powerful smartwatch by any means, but it is a really slow experience. But all in all, I mean, the UI is pretty nice to use and it's really simple and straightforward. Then we've got a cool thing where you can actually control your music, so if you listen to music on your phone, and it actually surprisingly works with YouTube as well, so you can play, pause and skip tracks and stuff like that. Now to the downside, when you play music via your phone, it actually plays audio through the smartwatch. Now I've tried to get it to work so it'll play audio through my phone instead. For some reason it just wouldn't allow it. So anyway, I've found myself liking the feature but just not using it. Another cool thing is notifications. Now you can receive messages, you can receive emails, you can receive Twitter stuff and Instagram stuff. Downside is sometimes they don't actually come through at all, and when they do come through you can't really do anything with them. So with Twitter you can't like or anything with it, you can't reply to it. Now I understand that this is not an Android Wear watch, so yeah, I kind of get that you can't do it, but it would be nice to just have a little bit of something where I could actually show that I've seen the notification without having to get my phone out. And then we've got some cool little features on this. Again, I'm not sure how accurate any of these are, but they're pretty cool. So we've got a temperature sensor, so what you do is place your finger on the display and it'll actually give you your body temperature. Again, not sure how accurate this is, but it works. We've also got an ECG and a heart rate monitor. Again, I'm not really sure how accurate any of these are because I've got nothing to compare it to, but they do work and they work pretty well. And then finally we've got things like a stopwatch, which works pretty well, and then we've got other little additions like a masseur and just other little features that are pretty cool, but sometimes they don't work and sometimes they do. So now we get on to the bad points, and one of those features I didn't mention earlier is you being able to control your camera. Now you can actually take pictures via your smartwatch and your phone, which is a pretty cool addition. The downside is though, there is a huge delay between what you see on your phone and what you see on the watch. So it's a decent feature, but it doesn't work very well at all. Also, the battery life isn't that great either. Now obviously most smartwatches last a day and a half if that, and this is lasting a little bit less than a day. Now I understand that it's a cheap smartwatch, so that might be expected and maybe I've been a little bit too nitpicky, but it's just something I thought I'd mention. Another thing as well, now with it being a watch, you want a watch to be comfortable. Now this watch for me isn't that at all. I found that the strap is a little bit hard and the actual adjustment seems to dig into my wrist quite a lot as well. Now I don't wear the watch too tight and I've got it on just so there's a little bit of slack and it moves around a little bit, but I still find it quite uncomfortable. And then we get on to actually charging the smartwatch. Now with that said, with the battery life, it's not fantastic. Now a good point with the charging is it does actually charge pretty quickly from dead, so that's kind of a good point. The downside is the charger is a real pain. It only goes in one way and it's magnetic, and sometimes it just actually misses the pins and it doesn't connect, and it's a real faff. I just wish they'd have done a little dock instead so you could just place it on it. That'd have been so much easier, but yeah. Anyway, it's just kind of a chore to actually get it to charge. And the last thing, and this is kind of the big deal breaker for me, is the Bluetooth. Now it connects really well and really quickly, but the connection is so inconsistent and so unstable that it just makes it unbearable to use. Now when you get in notifications and sometimes they come through, but sometimes when you're reading the notification, it'll just cut off the Bluetooth whatsoever and that'll be it. You can't use it anymore. And then the companion app that you have to download to get notifications is useless as well. It's just a real pain, and it kind of ruins the whole thing of a smartwatch, to get notifications, to be updated to what's happening on your phone without having to have your phone out all the time. And if it doesn't work like that, then it's basically just a watch with a couple of health features that aren't really that accurate. So yeah, that is kind of the big deal breaker for me, just the Bluetooth being so inconsistent and just not working at all like it should. Right guys, so there you have it. That is all the pros and all the cons of this £25 smartwatch. So is it actually worth it? No, I'd definitely say it isn't. Now it's got some good points, like the design, the build's pretty decent, the UI is easy to navigate even though it's quite basic, and it's got some great features like the ECG, the pedometer and all that good stuff that I've mentioned earlier. But it just gets a lot of the basic things wrong. I mean, the notifications come through okay sometimes, and then sometimes they don't come through at all, and even when they do come through you can't do anything with them anyway, so it's kind of like, yeah. Also, it's got some issues with Bluetooth just randomly disconnecting itself, and also the range is really poor as well. So it just gets some of the really basic things wrong. Now, should you actually pick one of these up? No. If you want a better smartwatch, I'd definitely recommend looking at something a little bit more high-end and saving your money and just getting something more reliable, because as decent as this is, it's definitely too unreliable and too frustrating to use on a daily basis. Right guys, so that is pretty much it. If you've got any questions about this smartwatch, then drop me a comment down below. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed, that would be awesome. It goes a long way to help out, and you also get to see my content when it comes out. So thank you again for watching guys, and I will see you all on the very next one.